Okay, I'd like to talk to you now about plotting. You might have heard people talking about a plot arc, which apparently this is a diagram of. I think the basic problem with this is that no one knows what that means. I can make head nor tail of it, so I would say ignore that and concentrate on cramming in all of the most exciting things you can think of into your story with no regard for safety, hygiene, continuity or logic. Basically, that is a plot arc. And that is the model you should be following. If you like the look of crocodiles, put them in your story. If you think giraffes would be a cool thing to have, cram them in as well. Just fill up your plot arc with a K and wait for a deus ex machina ending. Except, as we've already established, the deus in this case is incredibly lazy and has only worked 6 days in his life, so don't hold your breath for the machina. That apparently was a joke aimed at fans of Latin narratological terminology, so don't worry about that. I like to think I aim for the mainstream. Just got a broad appeal, that's why I'm here at a poetry night in a working men's club with a leaky ceiling rather than on the telly. So, never mind about that. Okay, so the only things that you need to worry about in a story are the beginning and the ending. You might have heard some nonsense about stories having a beginning, middle and end. I don't know why that started up. Basically, no one cares about the middle. The middle is a waste of time. If you sort out the beginning and the ending, everything else will take care of itself. So, beginnings. Okay, now the most important thing about beginnings is that you need to build tension. You need to draw readers into the world you're creating. If possible, you need to let them get to know every character, no matter how minor, and see every setting before anything remotely resembling a plot starts happening. So, my advice about openings can be boiled down to one sentence. Start your novel at least 3 chapters before the first significant event of the plot. Here's an example of what I mean. Alan picks up his slice of toast and bites into it thoughtfully. The crescent shape left by his teeth is like a smaller version of the shark bite Julia will suffer next week. But at the moment, Alan knows nothing about that. The surface of his coffee ripples like a deceptively calm ocean, which any moment now sharks will come leaping out of. He slurps it, completely unaware. So far, there is no sign of his parcel. The new scuba mask with anti-fog coating, which will eventually, although not for some days, save his life. There isn't even a postcard from Julia, despite her still, at this point, having enough fingers to write it. He wants to know what the weather is like on the coast before he goes there on Thursday. Of course, today is Monday, so there's still plenty of time. Maybe a postcard will come tomorrow. Maybe the day after. Until then, Alan just has to get through his last few days at work, which promise to be mind-numbingly repetitive and boring, exactly unlike a shark attack. So you see, we're building tension all the time. I envisage this going on for about 100 pages before he even buys a wetsuit. After a few chapters of filing and light admin, you will have the readers in the palm of your hand. Or to put it another way, you'll have prevented your book from doing this. Your plot just sailing over that shark there, just lovely drop shadow on the shark. I wanted to get more use out of this slide. It took me a long time to work out how to use the doesn't matter. So, by the time you've sorted out your beginning, you've built up some tension, you'll soon be careening headfirst into the ending. Now, endings are probably the most important part of a book. In fact, if we're honest, they're the only part anyone will ever remember. So it's important to have an ending that works for you. I've got one word for you guys. Twist. 2 words. 2 words. Ending. Twist ending. Just twist on its own doesn't make sense. Okay, 2 more words. Hell yeah. Twist endings are amazing. Twist endings are the only kind of endings anyone should ever write. When you get right down to it, the whole point of fiction, the whole purpose of writing, is to show how much cleverer you are than the people reading what you've written. So you need an ending that makes them feel like complete idiots. You need a denouement that baffles them. You want to just make them feel that big in much the same way as you do by using the word denouement instead of ending. So, yeah, I would go with an ending that no reader could possibly have foreseen. Here's my example of that in action. So, you discover the secret behind the general pause, the strangely blank look in his eyes. Behind. Now the whole room was flickering. I glanced down at my hands and saw my fingers blurring in and out of reality. Then, with a snap, it was all gone. As my eyes adjusted to the light, I smelled electrical burning. Neural simulator offline, purred a voice. I blinked. Peter, I mumbled, is that you? Not exactly, Chuck repeated. My real name is Dr. Hadrian. I inserted myself into your neural simulation as Peter in order to guide you. But why? I asked. He smiled and peeled an electrode off my temple. Because I'm your father, Jake. I'm not dead after all. I was kept alive by aliens. And the aliens are God. And this is the year 8500. And we're in space. Oh, I murmured. Well, that explains everything. Dr. Hadrian nodded. It does, doesn't it? He replied. Also, you're a robot. That's an ending worth holding out 400 pages for. And the great thing is you can use this ending with any story. It literally doesn't matter what happens before that. And you can even insert this ending into classic works of literature. Gandalf, muttered Frodo. Is that you? Not exactly, laughed the wizard, removing the simulation helmet. It improves any story that you add it to, I swear. Horatio, sputtered Hamlet. Is that you? Aye, there's the rub, laughed Horatio, shutting down the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune programme and booting up Hot Bikini Volleyball 9 Deluxe Edition. We've discovered a happy ending for Hamlet. It's a happy ending provided you're a fan of the Hot Bikini Volleyball video games franchise, but it was very big in 16th century England, so I think we're safe. Yeah, we're going to try one more before we move on. Kaiser Soze? Oh no, that doesn't work. Sorry, that one doesn't work. A reference to the film The Usual Suspects there, which I can't believe I didn't think to explain. I spent so long on Happy Days, and just making sure that you were with me on that, I didn't even stop to think about The Usual Suspects. If you haven't seen The Usual Suspects, we've ruined the ending for you. They are aliens in the future, and Kevin Spacey is a robot, so I apologise for that.